Hello everybody. I hate making these videos. I have been absent for several days and really I guess this is to talk about the realities of rescue and trying to save so many cats and kittens at one time. I will start at the beginning. Last Saturday, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before last, I received a phone call. I had met a woman that is a wildlife rehabilitator during this whole hoarding trapping situation, and she called me and said, do you know where so-and-so is? And it's a really, really small town, like a really small town here. And I said, no. Well, the shelter there has 6 kittens that are about to be terminated if someone can't go get them in the next hour. And, you know, of course I jumped onto Google Maps and I said, it's going to take me 45 minutes to get there. And she said, I know, but I can call them and yada yada. So I was like, okay, I'm on my way. And to give you a little background, it is flash flooding raining. It is torrential raining. There's alerts everywhere. I don't know where I'm going, but I am with a friend who is going to drive. And so we race down there. I get there and this man sees me pull in to the parking lot and he comes walking out with a box. He says, are you the lady here for the kittens? And I said, yes. And he he just like hands them to me and then he turns around and runs back inside. I mean, it is torrential raining, but nothing. So I get in the car, and I will insert the picture. I get in the car, and about halfway home through this horrible storm, the kittens start like crawling out of this box, and there is a picture of me, and I'm just holding there's kittens everywhere, and that was kind of funny. Keep in mind, I know nothing about these kittens. So I called her on the way and I said, you know, I told her what happened. She said, I don't know. She said, one of the people that work there, that was scheduled to go in and do the terminations today, just gave me a call and, you know, that's all they would tell me. So I still to this day know nothing about these kittens. But, so I get them home and I pull them out of the box. And they're in the worst condition I've ever seen kittens in. It was heartbreaking. They weighed between 8 and 10 ounces, and I just thought they're not gonna make it. I mean, there was no way. It was just terrible. It was terrible. And they wouldn't drink from a bottle. They wouldn't drink from a syringe. They wouldn't lap up cream, you know, and by the time I get home, it was rough, let me tell you. So I did luckily have tubes, and I tube fed all of them for about 24 hours because the ones that had strength to eat wouldn't bottle feed, and the ones that didn't couldn't. So I tube fed them for 24 hours. Anyway, so then, you know, they made it the first 24 hours, and that's probably right after that is when I made the broken thumb. It might have been the next day that I made the little broken thumb video, and which, by the way, it's okay as long as I wear my splint all but an hour a day. So then, you know, I'm checking them over and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with them because I can't take them to the vet till Monday, you know, and this is Sunday. And I noticed they have teeth. They have teeth. They have their fangs. They have their front teeth. They're starting to get their back teeth, which means these kittens are at least 4 weeks old. These teeny tiny newborn looking kittens have to be at least 4 weeks old. And I'm thinking, you know, so I make some meat milk thinking, oh, maybe it's because, you know, they need meat. Well, they wouldn't take that either. So I continued to tube feed. I tube fed for another 24 hours. They were not gaining weight. There was nothing, they were stabilizing sort of, but they weren't gaining weight. And then I could not get a vet appointment on Monday. But I did get one Tuesday morning. And so Tuesday morning we all go to the vet. And the vet is and the vet's actually the one that coins them the hot mess kittens, because they are the hot mess kittens. They smell really weird. They smell like infection. They, they wouldn't eat their skin and bones. I think in some of the clips I talk about how they're like, newborn baby birds. Anyway, so we put them on antibiotics and Panicure, and he said, try to feed them food. He said, try to feed them food. He said, put a little bit of KMR in it. He said, but give them the wet, solid food. And he said, because you cannot tube. They were chewing on the tubes, and I was scared they were going to chew through the tube and swallow it. And he said, you can't tube feed these kittens very much longer. They'll swallow a tube. And so I brought them home, and I put out some food, and I put milk, and they started to eat it. Well, sort of. They suckled it, but they were slurping it down, and it was marvelous. It was a complete mess. The mess. You cannot believe the mess. But they did. And so then after they would do that, they would drink a little bit of the bottle. It was like they just needed to get some food in them, and then I would supplement with a bottle. So that was wonderful. And they went on their antibiotics, and they went, and slowly they started gaining weight, except for the female. They're all boys except one female, and she just wouldn't. She would lap a little bit at the food, and she just wouldn't do it. And so I kept tube feeding her, and she didn't have enough strength to try to bite anyway. And this continued until Friday, and I took her back into the vet on Friday, and he couldn't find anything else wrong with her. Said just keep tube feeding her, and hopefully, eventually the tube feedings, because I was doing it 7 times a day. I was doing smaller amounts over more periods. Well, Friday night she started throwing up. And throwing every time you would tube feed her, or if sometimes she'd take a little bit of drops out of the bottle, if I squirt them, and she just started throwing up, and she did not make it. She never would gain strength. She wouldn't eat, and I was really sad, and I named her Sylvie. But, to be honest with you, I'm surprised any of them have made it this far. Now, there is one, another of the little gray ones, and it's the boy who's not out of the woods yet. He's not as bad as she was, but he's showing the same type of, he's just lethargic and not eating as properly as he should, and I cannot tube feed him because he does chew and he does struggle even when scuffed. And it's all I can do. But the other 4 are moving and grooving. They're still messy, and they're gross, and they still kind of stink. It's just a weird smell, but they're doing really good. So partly that is why it has been, the videos have not been, all that great. The second reason, and this is even harder, is on Thursday I got a call from Squash's foster mom, and she said, we've decided to go ahead and do the surgery. This week was really rough on him. He was starting to deteriorate and lose ounces instead of gain ounces, and his breathing, no matter how many breathing treatments weren't going well. And she said, so Friday morning, and that was this past Friday, we're gonna go ahead with the surgery. She said, because, you know, we don't know how much longer he will make it without it. So we're gonna go ahead. And, you know, I understood, and I said, fine. And then she called me Saturday morning, and he did go into surgery. He had the ventricle, or the vein going into his heart, was very thick, and then the vein, I don't know if there's more than one that comes out of their heart, but one of the veins had a tear in it, and I think that's the one that was leaking the fluid. I think that's how the fluid was getting out. And so he was repairing that, and squash, and then squash flatlined, and they were not able to get him back. And I know that these videos are horrible to listen to. They're horrible to make. But it's like his foster mom said, you know, these are the realities that we have to deal with. If we want to save as many as we can, the reality is we're going to lose some. And at least when we lose some, they are with us and they're not, you know, alone. And we have tried our best. We've done everything that we can think of. And, you know, that's just the way life is sometimes. So that is what's been happening for the last week and a half. You know, and I have other updates and stuff on some of the other kittens, but this is already long, and, you know, and I'm just not going to go into all those right now. But everything else is great. Everybody else is doing great. You know, like I said, 4 of the hot mess kittens are doing great. And the other one is still hanging in there. Ginger is going to be spayed and stay where she is. She's not going anywhere. The mom loves Ginger. And so Ginger is now in her forever home with her, but she's already, I mean, she's been there, but that's it. So that's all that I have right now. And now I'm going to insert what footage I have of the hot mess kittens. It's crazy. I'm sorry for the footage, but every time I would go to film them, something would happen, and I would have to like just shut the camera off or put the camera down, or so there's not a full clip yet of any of them. I mean, still now, and I'm only going to show the first week, just last week. That's, you know, not including this weekend and what I filmed today, but I have yet to be able to film a full clip of the hot mess kittens. Okay. Well, here is 4 of the new babies. No, oh goodness. And I will tell you their story in a minute. I just want you to see them all. There's so many, I mean, they're everywhere. So, I just thought I'd show some of them. There's a ginger and a cream and 3 grays and a black one. Here comes the other gray, and she is the only female. Everyone else is male. Whoa. And here is the black one. And the black one and the female they're the ones that I'm having to tube feed. What? Okay. Oh, are you ready for some bottle? And if you're wondering why they're eating solid food, it's part of the story, which is sad but happy. Oh. What are you doing? Come over here. I don't want to film my whole bedroom. Oh, I know. Look at this. They're everywhere. Okay. This is them. And I will tell their story in just a little bit. Oh, yeah. So, and look, there's a ginger and a cream. And I don't know who belongs together. Like, there's no, you'll know in the story, but there's no record. Like, okay, I'm trying to film the Hot Mess Kittens again. But I have yet to be able to film an entire clip of them. Because something always happens. I know. And we are fixing to get a bath because look at this. Look at this mess. And it is 10 o'clock in the evening, and I changed all this out at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And I wiped all of them off and it doesn't matter because they're a hot mess. Like, there's no other, what? Look at this. There's no other word for it. You can clean them off and clean them off and clean them off. Yay! We are done. And I did blow dry them, but I guess a couple of their tails and like around their neck, I may have to get the blow dryer back out because they seemed dry when I put it up. But now it looks like I might have missed a couple spots, but they love, these are my pajama pants and they love them, and so I put them in the dryer and then I get them out and they sleep in them. They love them too. But yeah, they're much quieter. The bath always does kind of wear them out a little. And I hate giving them baths, but there's nothing else you can do. But if you've ever held a baby bird, like a newborn baby bird, that's what it's like when you give them baths. See? Around the neck. Like, all this is dry, but around the neck. Here, do you want some? Here, eat. But their skin is so thin, and their fur is so thin, and it's just, like, it's really stressful giving them a bath. That's why I haven't filmed giving them a bath yet, because I'm so stressed the whole time that I'm going to hurt them. I mean, their skin, oh, look at them. They're just like, they just ate. And don't look, sorry, I don't know how to get the litter box out of the shot. It's coming out next, but I have to go around to the other end. I did this front end. They're just so cute.